はい、もうラメラです。今日も、マインクラフトやっていきましょう。実はですね、配信しなかった時に、なんと自動サトウキビ収集装置を作りました。これピストンを使ってですね、ある程度伸びたらピストンが動いて、このチェストボックスの中にサトウキビが入るっていう風になってます。ちゃんと動いてるのかなちゃんと動いてくれ、祈りましょう。動いてるのか。いやで、今回やりたいことは、牛さんの大繁殖をさせたいので牧場を作りたいと思います。まず、柵を作りたいんだけど、棒とフォークか。棒がいっぱい作ってような。あれか。51個もあれば十分だろう。で、どこに作ろうかなと思って、牛があそこにいるんですよね、あっち向こう側に。あ、これか。なんで、連れてくるとして、この辺でいいか。ちょっとここを埋めて牧草地にしようかなと思います。あるでしょ。おお、暗くなってきちゃった。意外とめんどくせえな。どのくらい大きくしようかっていう問題もありますけど、とりあえずここでいいか。柵がそんなに作れないので、こんな大きさでいいと思う。もう一回り大きさか。もう一回り。 入れないぞ。なんかドアみたいなの作れるんですか？柵の入り口っぽいのは作れるのかな？わからないな。よくわかんねえな。じゃあ次は牛さんを連れてきます。マジか、いけねえのか。2匹いると繁殖するって聞いたんで、豚を連れてこれるのかな。裏裏裏裏。マジでどういうこと？はい、あと1匹。そこにいるんだけど。ここだよ、ここ。 だって君たち さってね、2匹ちょっと足りないからな。もうちょっと欲しいね。なかったっけ。ないか、逆側か。あ、来るね。 来いよ。ちょっと逃げちゃうんですけど。どういうこと？なるほどね。こりゃいいのか。 けね。お前ら勝手に入れたんじゃねえよ。ようこそ。あ、もう一匹は 来いよ来いよ。繁殖ってどうすれば、もうこのぐらい十分だよ。 あ、間違えた。やべえな、気持ち悪いな。 こでしょ君たち。死ねようんこ。死ねようんこ。
やべえ気持ち悪い。
to have Greg and Nick join ELT. And I must say, I like relieved as well. And I don't get to use all three words, excited, thrilled, and relieved in one sentence often. But the geekiest to lead products and technologies for that community is kind of my dream job. And being able to focus on that, and these are the leading indicators. These communities are leading indicators that Intel is back, and we have more cores, more bandwidth, more flops coming our way. Next year with Sapphire Rapids HBM, Ponte Vecchio, DG2, and taking these products to market, getting the software done to hit the roof lines, so much ahead of us as we pave the path for 2024, where we lead in all these segments. So I'm super excited with this new role.
Thank you, Raja. And like you, right? This to us allows us to redefine the top of the computing stack in critical segments to critical audiences. Very excited to unleash you to go execute that mission. The org changes that we've announced are going to help us accelerate our pace, unleash our best talent, and reestablish our position, our rightful position as the world's leading technology and semiconductor company, because Intel is back. And I do want to say a special thank you before we move to Q&A. And, Naveen Shenoy, 26 years at Intel. He's played a wide variety of roles, while leading DPG, the client computing group, Intel Asia Pacific, just really contributed across a wide range over that 26-year period of time. And I'm grateful, thankful, and wish him all the best as he starts his next chapter. So with that, we'd like to now spend time going to Q&A. I'll hand it over to Krista, who, as normal, in her talented and inimicable way, will take us through a Q&A cycle. So, Krista.
Thanks, Pat. Good morning to everybody. I want to tell you that since the announcement came out yesterday, we've had about 60 questions from employees coming in related to the announcement. We're going to go ahead and ask a handful of those questions that have been voted up by employees, and then we'll go ahead and take questions live from the webcast. So first question, Pat, for you. We're used to management change. What we're not used to is for leaders to outline their plans to achieve their goal and let the public grade their success in 6 to 12 months. Can our new leaders publish their plans for success within 14 days?
Well, whether we'll do it in 14 days or not, I'm not sure. But we will clearly be public about the goals that we'll have for the business units. And just if I draw back the picture a little bit, we define these 7 business unit areas for the company. They will have clear business goals. They will have clear competitive goals. They will have clear markets and customer goals that they are after. Also, one of the things that we're going to do is bring more clarity to those business objectives, the financial objectives we'll be measuring them about, and we'll be making steps to make that more visible externally as well. So not only will we be holding ourselves internally to that, with our board, and external markets as well. So overall, the simple answer to the question is yes, this will become a very important part of the organization going forward. Clear goals that will set, clear accountability, metrics that we'll measure against, best known methods that we're going to be pouring into each one of them as our functional groups support them, but the business units will have those objectives that will become their driving forces for those organizations as we put the best talent to work on these strategies and as we build back Intel better than ever before.
Thanks, Pat. We're getting a lot of questions about this particular topic. For Sandra, this one for you. I'm excited about this reorg, and it largely makes sense from where I sit. One concern is about AI. It seems to be heavily fractured between Sandra, Greg, and Raja. How will these leaders ensure their organizations are working and prioritizing together on IA solutions?
Sandra, you're going to start on that one? Oh, sorry. I'll start on it, and then I'll ask Sandra to help. Forgive me, Krista, I'm not listening to you. I'll just say, AI is a workload. AI is a workload that we're infusing across all of our platforms, including IoTG, including our client platforms. It really is, in that sense, not an organization. It is a workload and a set of capabilities that become part of all of our platforms. And the role of Greg, right, for a single software architecture, huge priority there, and the role of Sandra, playing the biggest role for our AI product offerings are the two critical functions. So, and this MRC that we're putting in place that Sandra and Greg will lead will play an important coordination function to make sure that we get to one strategy that's clearly understood, clearly sold, clearly marketed externally. So, Sandra, since I stepped on your toes there, please add.
Thank you, Pat. And it is a great question, and we are hearing a lot of, about how will we drive a successful AI strategy and execution capability for Intel. And as Pat described, AI is a workload that will serve every market, every segment, and increasingly be part of all of our lives, how we work, how we play, how we live our day-to-day lives. And for sure, one of the things that we know is that while org design is important, goal clarity, role clarity, and really understanding how the work flows is equally, if not more important. So the fact that we have pockets of innovation and capability throughout a number of different organizations is something to be leveraged and something that we need to align on as a leadership team. What is the mission? What are the metrics? And what are the roles that each of us will play? I'm actually very excited to partner with Raja and Greg as we take this important strategy forward. Having that strategy and execution forum with all the AI leaders, both the technical and the business leaders for the company, come together around that mission and really driving forward on an execution path and an accelerated market opportunity that we are going to deliver on for our customers is one of the biggest opportunities that we have, and one that as a leadership team we welcome and will work together to drive forward.
Thanks, Sandra. Pat, this next question is for you. Intel has a history of frequent reorgs. How is the effectiveness of a given reorg measured, and what data is used to determine when and what areas should be targeted? Is there shareable specific data explaining the problem statement that is solved by this reorg?
Yeah, thanks for the question. And I sometimes, in somewhat a cynical way, I say, all orgs are bad. You're always picking the best one for the problem at hand. And you're always trying to get the best alignment of responsibilities, accountability, resources. And for this, we've said, hey, these are the 7 business areas for Intel. They're clear, market targets, they're clear product targets that they're aiming at, clear competitive targets for them. And we've used that as the overriding theme for the org design. I did feel like data center had gotten too big, too broad, too interconnected. I wasn't focused enough on this most critical aspect. We have to win back leadership in the data center and cloud. And as you saw from our last earnings call, we had a great quarter, but there were questions in that area of our competitiveness, and the markets responded negatively. This is critical, and in asking Sandra to attack that very aggressively, right, without the the breadth of requirements, and our networking opportunity, edge opportunities are huge, and Nick is taking that on. We haven't been focused enough, and you heard Raj's comments about this leadership, the wacky extreme edge of geekness, in high performance computing and gaming. That just defines the leadership position, but isn't the same as what we need to do in the data center and in the cloud for this breadth and volume and position that we're in. So each one of these moves, as we thought through it, we think clearly aligns the technology objectives with the business, the market, and the competitive goals that we're setting. As the first question implied, we also then have to set clear metrics. How are we going to measure these business areas? And that's something that you'll see aligned for each one of the business groups, and how we're going to measure them becomes an important aspect of seeing success. And maybe the final comment on this is, this is my leadership team. We have the CPO to add. I'm excited to have this leadership team in place. We do, right, as orgs are never right, you're always looking at how to make them better. I am looking forward to this to be a stable leadership team for an extended period. This is the team I want to work with. We as a team are going to come together. We're going to drive aggressively to get us back in a leadership position. And I don't expect that we'll be making any significant changes for any time into the foreseeable future. This is my team. I'm excited about it.
He won't just throw them on
Thanks,
the floor,
Pat. Another question
which means that we won't
centering
get a hold
around
of them.
reorg. Are there specific reasons
this
we're
right
making
here,
these
having
changes,
this,
like AMD eating into our data center
trap
market
door
share, or because we think that the new
rim
org structure is
around
more
this middle part
organic
right
and will
here
bring
is the
synergy
secret
and
sauce
success?
to
In the last few
this
years, we've made
design.
multiple
As long as
changes
it's
in
there,
organizational
the farmer won't be
structures,
able to
all
get it. It's
motivated
not
by
cost
improving our
but he will
competitiveness,
still be able
but
to
not based,
farm all
but
of these
based on
spots
continual
right here.
changes,
He will
it does
be able
not
to
seem that
reach
they are achieving what they are supposed
You
to
also
achieve.
don't need this trapdoor on top. I just
Somewhat
put that
building
there
on the last
for aesthetics,
answer.
so I do like how
Organizations,
but yeah, I mean, you could
here
just
as
put the
we're
roof
looking at it,
level on this.
we've taken things and gotten them very aligned to specific segments where there is competition.
And probably the hardest part of this whole design is getting the villager in there. I mean,
we are going to
I
take
can
that
just spawn them
seriously.
in
That
there,
is part of
but
our job.
if you
So
don't
the direct
have,
answer to that
if you're
portion
not
of the question
creative,
is
if you're
yes,
survival,
absolutely.
you're going to have to
We are
get the
taking that
villager
more
in like a
seriously
line cart
than we have in
or
the past,
a boat,
and we're going to put
and
them
then
back
get him up
where they
here.
belong.
So
right as
that
we
is
lean forward to the future. We also see that areas like network and edge, huge opportunities for us, and it was getting lost, right, in the space of all of the challenges of the data center. And Nick, man, he has the opportunity to define an entire new category of computing as it occurs at the network and edge. You know, each one of these areas, as we've done now, has leaders with deep expertise, deep passion, deep understanding of the business, and we're going to hold them highly accountable to go execute those businesses, build the organizations, get the talent in place that they need, and really harvest just the tremendous assets that Intel has in each one of these areas. I'm excited.
Thanks, Pat. Let's go ahead and shift over to Raja now. This question for you. With the limited availability of discrete GPUs and crazy prices, does Intel have a shot at releasing our XE HPG anytime soon to help gamers?
Yeah, first, it's the most exciting time, I think, to enter discrete graphics market with the demand for graphics just through the roof. With respect to DG2, we are in the final production steppings now, and the teams are marching towards getting it done to PRQ close to end of the year, or I think January next year is when we go public with DG2. But there's a lot of software work. This last phase is all software, because we got to get 200 games out there, running well on our platform. But I'm excited, the team is excited, and the community that's entering this big. I'm excited, the team is excited, and the community that's entering this big. Graphics, and we can't wait to get it done.
And if I could add a little bit to that one, Krista, the thing is, as I came back to the customers want us here. Right? They're tired of NVIDIA's heavy-handed tactics. They're excited to have us be more competitive in this space. The market is clearly demanding more capabilities that are possible. The supply situations, all of these things are working in their favor. Now's a great time, and I'm thrilled, as I said, to unleash Raja to go lead in the attack in the marketplace. And we're going to see some major market share moves in this area next year. This is going to be a great success story for us.
Thanks, Pat. This next question, both for Pat and for Greg. Excited to see the addition of Greg Lavender to the company. Does the position of CTO placed in the Software and Advanced Technology Group indicate that at the company we will grow through software business models that are better together with hardware in the future?
Greg, why don't you start?
Yeah, well, the answer is yes. So look, I think I always like to say I like to look through the windshield, and go fast, and occasionally check my rearview mirror to see who's coming up behind me with a flashing red light. So, we have to have an outside-in view, right? There's a tremendous amount of innovation happening in the open source community, in our competitors, and we need to accelerate the pace of taking advantage of all that innovation and add our own innovation. Those of you that work in software know full well that software abstraction is able to deal with complexity and allows you to innovate at the speed of software. So we've got to get those things right, and we've got to embrace what's happening with these new workloads that are driving, you know, the innovation in the silicon. So we bring those two things together, and you're going to hear this a lot from me about co-innovation and collaboration. That's the equation for success. It sounds simple. We have an organization to make it work, and I'm committed to do that with my peers on the E-staff. And so that focus on that software and that forward-looking view I get from the CTO seat, right, talking to all of our customers, the cloud customers, the system vendors, you know, even our end customers. When I was at Citigroup, I had an MBA, and I knew what Intel's roadmaps were for 3 years because I was building systematic trading platforms, high-performance computing platforms, and I needed to know what to tell my system vendors where they needed to be 2-3 years from now. So as the CTO, I'm in that chair that lets me have all those conversations with all of our partners and get that outside-in view in our other customers, get that outside-in view to help inform the pace of innovation, and we always have to make hard choices about what innovations we do, and they have to be aligned to these business goals and objectives, and we'll pace it at the pace at which the business can get those products out. But we've got to come together and do this together and elevate, reduce the friction and elevate the velocity of what we're doing.
Overall, you've heard me say we have to elevate the role of software, and I see that in several dimensions. You know, one is software today is often trailing our hardware platforms. We need exactly the opposite. Software comes first, and the silicon and hardware comes underneath it. Stable software interfaces allow developers to be working well in advance of when our silicon and platforms are available. So first, we have to move it temporally before, not after. We also have to play higher in the stack. And I think the area of AI, like we've touched on, is one, you know, that clearly, right, describes that, where we have to be moving to those upper layers, and we have way too much of our software focused down at the lower levels. We have to be participating influence in the open source community